Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm back to working on my project. I am determined to get this done. I thought I was going to be done by January 1st, but due to, life, it didn't happen. December was a little, if you want to say challenging, difficult for me. We had a death in the family and then a not so good diagnosis for another member of the family. It's just been, something. So I'm trying to get my 2021 album and my 2019 album. And even though I'm a little bit behind, I'm going to keep pushing. And really, I'm up to day 17 and 18. So I'm done half the month. And not only that, I'm done half the month, but for 2 years. I'm actually doing 2021 and 2019 together this year. So once I'm finished, I actually am going to have two projects complete. So this is day 17. Let's talk a little bit what we did. This was a Friday, I believe, and my husband had Fridays off in the month of December. So we would take that opportunity and go do a bit of shopping. We didn't go out that many times. Like usually every other year, we would go every Friday, and it was so fun because it was sort of like our little date, and it didn't matter if we were in town for hours. We would go out for lunch. We would usually have like seafood or something like that. We would grab a Starbucks and just mosey through the stores and take our time. Of course, this year, because of everything that's going on, it wasn't quite that way. We did grab a Starbucks because, gotta have the Starbucks. But we went through the stores pretty quickly. And of course, the coffee we couldn't drink in the stores. So I made sure to drink it while we were driving from store to store. We did get most of our shopping done that day. I think my husband went by himself the next week because I was making some cooking, and he just went and finished off our shopping. What I do when I go shopping is I make a list and what I want for that person, and then that way you know exactly where you're going. You go in, you grab what you need, and you get out. This walking around and not knowing what to buy people, that's not for me. That is not something I enjoyed before. I like to be a woman with a plan. And that's with everything in my life. I like to have a plan and go with it. Now this is day 18 for 2021, and I started watching in December. I started watching all the episodes, from season 30 to 40 of Survivor, but that's by myself. And then me and my husband started watching The Resident. We hadn't watched any episode. That's not true. We had watched episode 1, but for some reason when we were going to watch it, when it started years ago, I think it was in 2018, it didn't record episode 2 and 3. So I hate missing episodes. So we kind of stopped watching it, and I found it so that we could binge watch it. It's now on season 5, so obviously waited quite a while before we actually, watched it again. But again, I took pictures of the weather every day, and I'm so glad I did. It's so interesting to see. And that day, I have a picture of a couch here, and there was a single mom that was looking for a bed and a couch, and I texted my friend. She had posted on Facebook. I said I have a couch for her if she wants it, and then we brought it right to her house. So that was what we did on the 18th. Plus, I was reading Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I'm loving her books. I read Vespertine, which is her newest one. That was a 5-star read. Sorcery of Thorns, I love that one. That was a 5-star read. And then I read her first one, An Enchantment of Raven. It wasn't as good as the second and third. And I think just as an author, she's getting better and better and better. So her first one was still a solid read. It was like 3.5 stars, 3.75. But definitely her second and third book were my favorite. And I can't wait because Vespertine is actually, I don't know if it's a trilogy, but it's a series. So I'm going to have to wait a whole year before I get the next book. But I have to say the first book still kind of, I like the books, even though if they're part of series, the story arc kind of finishes, but you know that there's more to come. And that's exactly what this book is like. So it's okay to read it. There's no cliffhangers. That story arc ends, but they're going to have basically, another adventure in the next book. So definitely The Resident has become one of our new favorite TV shows. If you want a hard-hitting, they tackle a lot of issues, and then at the end of the video they kind of give you somewhere to get help for that issue or certain medical things that have happened. Really hard hitting. And I am not much of a crier, because I think of the job that I did for 14 years. I don't want to say it made me uncaring, because that's not it. I just don't cry. That's just not something, I just learned to turn that off, I guess. And season 5, episode 3, I cried like a baby for about an hour. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it was very close to home, and it kind of related to the death in the family that we had early December. So when I watched that, it just brought it all out. But I have to say, it felt good to, shed tears. It's good for the soul, I think, sometimes to do that. But anyway, now we moved on to 2019, and I do all this. I'm going to do all the title. And then when I go to put it in my album, darn it, it was the wrong way. I should have grabbed a different sheet, because all the cards for day 17, 18 should have been vertical and not horizontal. But it was not a big deal. I don't show it on camera, but when I flip through the albums, once we're done all of this, you'll see that day 17, 18, I just kind of ripped all the photos off of this and I put it on a vertical page. But I'll still talk about what happened that day. So again, I put 2 days on because day 18 I didn't take any pictures, but day 17 I took quite a bit of pictures. It was Mason's concert, so we were there and we saw the concert, but we also went to a hockey game that was Canada versus US, the women's hockey. So that was a lot of fun. So I just want to remind you, till January 10th, if you use the coupon code JAN2022, you're going to get an extra 20% off our digital prints, which makes them 70% off. And that's it. I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.